No matter where you are, the heat is on, and how do we deal with it? Of course we have solutions. Crew, let's ranch it up. Good day, everyone, and thanks for riding with us on this all-new episode of the Ranch It Up Radio Show. I'm Jeff Tigger Earhart.
And I'm Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck.
A big thank you to our partners, RanchChannel.com, Transova Genetics, Axiota Multiman and Lactapro, Stockman's Livestock, the American Gelbvieh Association, Imogene Ingredients and Farmatan, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Allied Genetic Resources and Allied Feeding Partners, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station. All right, let's just jump right into this one. We have had several questions about dealing with the heat and the stress that it puts on cattle because no matter where you're listening to this, I guarantee you the heat is on. So let's break this down and offer some solutions. Paul Mitchell with Imogene Ingredients and Farmatan joins us now. We talk about Farmatan, and we've talked about it a lot, about using it 90 days prior to calving to battle scours. Remember that? But that is only the beginning. Adding Farmatan to the diet has benefits that work all year long, especially when the heat is on. Paul, welcome back, and thanks for taking a little time to visit. Let's talk heat stress in cattle.
You know, with heat stress, once it goes above about 75 degrees on a sustained basis, cattle begin to suffer from it. And so the first thing is in all livestock, including humans, once things get a little hot, you begin to back off of feed. And you do that because your digestion itself is a source of heat. And so to preserve ourselves, we back off of feed. You know, what happens is the heat goes up during the day, and then you should be able to cool off at nighttime. And then the next day, here it comes again. But the more heat that you get over a combined period, you get a stress reaction, a cortisol reaction. And when that cortisol begins to kick off, now you have a series of reactions and you end up with inflammation in the animal. So instead of being able to cool off at nighttime, that inflammation continues from an interior source of heat. And now here comes the next day, and then the next day, and the next day. And so they never get to really cool down, and you accumulate this impact, which begins to build upon itself. And eventually they back off of feed. And we know with feed conversion, you know, if the more feed they take in, the bigger they get. And it works in the reverse as well. The less feed they take in, your gains stop, and they can even begin to consume protein for energy, depending on how severe it gets. There's a whole process here.
So what can we do to help with that, to help these animals kind of get through this period and to get them back balanced, if you will, inside their gut?
Well, so of course there's what can we feed to help them manage it, and then of course there's the management techniques in the yard itself, and so of course shade and good clean water supply is a given. In the feed, you know, what we're trying to do is do a couple of things. We have done a lot with Farmatan over the years, and you know, for the various reasons you and I have discussed on this show previously. But with Farmatan in the diet, we know we're doing a really good job of keeping that mucus layer intact on the gut wall. And by doing that, as well as the impact it has on the tight junctions of the digestive tract, you're not allowing fluid to escape out of the animal, and also you're not allowing a lot of toxins in the system to get into their bloodstream. So the big thing is with the Farmatan heat blend, there's Farmatan in there, which helps with that physical barrier. And then we've got a number of elements in there like chromium, betaine, capsicum to provide good energy for the animal and also prevent that cortisol reaction and that inflammation reaction from kicking off. So we've got a combination of items in this heat blend that tries to prevent the effects of it from triggering the cortisol, triggering an inflammation response, which then allows them to cool down at nighttime that little bit quicker and get ready for the next day. And of course, if we can keep them out of that high stress situation, you have a chance. Now, with that, you do need to try and supplement it as quickly as you can as the summer begins. At this point, there's already some regions that have had a lot of heat. Other regions maybe haven't gotten it quite as bad yet, and it's building. So folks that are on it, we've tested this over the last number of years, this combination, and we've seen a really good effect of trying to prevent some of those chronics from happening.
We're talking about maintenance and keeping that cow, that calf, that feedlot steer, your bulls, everything at their most efficient, optimum level at times of stress, so that when they're faced with this, and they're always faced with that, right? I mean, we're faced with, heat of the summer. We're faced with floods. We're faced with foot rot and all these other problems. It's really kind of trying to set that animal up for success so that they can fight through it to the best of their abilities. Am I explaining that correctly?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think with the genetics improvements and now the cost of the value of cattle, you've got a higher end animal than you've ever had before, and you've got an animal that's worth a lot. And so, trying to squeeze the last penny out of your inputs, if you're handling something cheap, then trying to minimize your cost makes a lot of sense, but you're handling something very expensive and worth a huge amount now. And to put an extra couple of pennies into that mother cow who's going to provide you a living and provide a mother for the next calf coming, you have to put something in there to elongate or to preserve her life. And what we've seen is, if we can, number one thing we have to sit down with producers is say, stop feeding them cheap mineral. Get good quality chelated mineral and put it out there for your cow.
And Farmatan is not to replace a mineral program. It's to augment said mineral program. Like you said, make sure you are feeding high quality chelated minerals.
Correct. What the Farmatan does, it protects that gut lining. It's knocking Clostridia and Cocci and E. coli. It's trying to reduce those pressures on her and on the subsequent calf that's coming. And in response, you're also getting an immune response because we can see more milk production and higher antibodies in the milk. So you've got a healthier cow, less inflammation in that cow, a cow that wants to breed back, and a cow that wants to feed a solid calf and a weaning weight that will reflect that. If you don't get her teed up for production, you're going to miss out on a whole bunch of milk and butter fat for that calf. That's a major thing. You've got to support that milk production. And she is a miracle. She's out there on marginal kind of grass, turning it, the fermentation of the rumen has turned that into something that she can use, both energy and protein. I mean, that's the genius of the rumen. You can put in a bunch of poor quality carbohydrate, range grass, and you can get out both energy and protein out of it. Because she's able to produce her own bacterial protein. So that's the genius of the cow, but you've got to help her with it. People need to remember blackleg comes from Clostridia. That's why you give them a C and D shot. There's guys that are going without giving a C and D shot anymore. We've forgotten just how many cattle used to die on the plains from blackleg. So you have that clostridial pressure there all the time. And Clostridia consumes protein in the diet, and by knocking down Clostridia, we know we're giving you better feed efficiency and feed conversion for the diet you're feeding that cow.
And this is more, we want to get and use this as more of a maintenance, not a treatment, correct?
Yeah, maintenance, with any kind of a situation like this, if you can prevent that cortisol reaction and that high inflammation from kicking off, then you've got a great chance of getting them through it without losing a lot of performance. Once that they kick off and they become, a chronic, now you're talking about almost a veterinary intervention, electrolyte type doses, things like that. And there's very little the veterinarian can do for a chronic at that stage, other than try and get them into a cold room. But that's not really a solution when you've got 5 or 6 or 500 or 1,000 cattle looking at you. You need to be able to get in front of it.
Say in a situation where if you're in a drier environment, you've got to bring in water to them, or you've got you're piping water to cattle, you're moving them around, you're cell grazing, and they're always coming to this one water source. I didn't know if that may be a little better way of getting those nutrients into that animal faster.
The drench or the liquid in the water, I mean, they will drink water no matter how hot it gets. You can administer to them through the water. But with automatic drinkers and things like that, it can be difficult. What we'll see with guys who use our Farmatan liquid on an annual basis, they will put out water troughs and add it into that water trough, maybe in a receiving pen or in a weaning yard. Try and get into them that way. So if you can do a water approach, we do have a grow yard down in Kansas where they actually have almost like a hog barn. They have a mitigator on their water, and they do pipe in Farmatan liquid into that water on a constant basis for every load of cattle that come in.
We always try to be proactive instead of reactive, but it never fails, Paul. We're always, a dollar late or a day late and a dollar short, I should say. And so if we're in that situation, and I hate that so many of us, but it's just, we don't want to. It just seems we get in that situation all the time. We're going into the heat of the summer. We're in July. Can we start now? I mean, I know that we can, but are we going to be getting the most bang for our buck if we just, I know maybe we should have been on this pre-breeding, we should have been doing some of that, but can we get onto it now? I know it may take a little bit longer for a lot of the minerals to take effect and to start really helping that animal, especially if they're already in a stressed situation. But when really is the best time to start administering? And I'm talking about dealing with the heat stress now.
Yeah, I mean, you can add it immediately, but you may go in at a higher dose. So, it's all the most economical is to go in at a lower dose or a maintenance type dose for as long as you can pre that high heat. If the heat is already kicked off and you're already having trouble with cattle, contact us and we'll work with you on, what can we do to pulse in or do something a large amount to kind of get them stable, and then as well as, of course, other ways to hydrate them quickly, and then kind of get you back to that maintenance as the summer goes on. But look, if you've got the guts of 3 very hot months ahead of us here, July, August, and September, and so depending on the parts of the country, the heat's still only building. So get on it and give us a call, and we'd be happy to discuss your specific situation.
Paul Mitchell with Farmatan. Check them out at farmatanusa.com, imogeneingredients.com, or give them a call at 515-745-1639. That's 515-745-1639. You can always reach out to Beck and I here at the Ranch It Up Radio Show, and we'll make sure that we get you in contact with anyone from the Farmatan crew. Now, it's time for a break, but up next, it's giveaway time. Do I have your attention now? The Ranch It Up Radio Show will be back after this. Have y'all tried livestockmarket.com yet? We have updates each and every week brought to us by auctiontime.com. We're all familiar with that one. Try livestockmarket.com. And don't forget, for all your equine needs, head to equinemarket.com. Want to add just a little bit of spice to your event, your customer appreciation supper, your banquet, your meeting?
Oh, yeah.
Well, bring in us, Beck and I, as your keynote speakers, hosts, MCs, a host couple. We'll make them laugh, even cry tears of joy. Call us today. Looking for the best way to raise healthy, productive beef? Try Westway Feed Products. Westway's liquid supplements boost forage utilization, efficiency, and sustainability, ensuring faster weight gain and better health. Visit westwayfeed.com or call 800-800-7517. Westway Feed Products, raising the bar in beef production. ranchchannel.com. I know many of you have used it to search for your next herd sires. ranchchannel.com. You used it, you loved it. If you haven't gone to it, you need to. Coming soon, market information. Yep, feeder cattle, live cattle futures, corn, wheat, and beans, updated every 10 minutes. At your fingertips. Plus, the additions of products and services, management tips, that information that you've been wanting, and again, all at your fingertips. It's your Farm and Ranch Network on demand, ranchchannel.com. It's time now to start adding value to those Gelbvieh and Balancer calves. The American Gelbvieh Association offers a wide variety of DNA tests and delivers its members and customers tools for success within the beef industry. You owe it to yourself by going to gelbvieh.org. Welcome back to the Ranch It Up radio show. Now, before we get to the giveaway, we want to tell you all about the updates on ranchchannel.com. I know a lot of you have been using ranchchannel.com. You did this spring to select your herd sires, your bulls and females. And by the way, we're going to have a lot more of the fall sales that are going to be listed on ranchchannel.com. But very exciting is we just added some more features to make this even more user-friendly. We added the futures markets.
That's right. You heard Tigger correctly. The futures market is now just at your fingertips, and it's been made so easily that no matter where you are, whether you're in the tractor, you're hauling down the road, you're sitting, well, hopefully you're not driving and playing on your phone at the same time.
Exactly.
Okay?
Put the phone away if you're driving.
Regardless, right there are the futures markets, and you're going to be happy to see that you can actually read them easily.
Very easy on your phone. Just head to ranchchannel.com. We've got feeder cattle, live cattle, lean hogs, corn, wheat, beans. What else did you guys put on here? Milk. Got milk on there? Futures? Okay. Ethanol is on there as well, some energies, and it's the futures markets. So just head to ranchchannel.com. And again, there is a 10-minute delay on those futures markets, but just check it out, y'all. Ranchchannel.com. All right, on to giveaway time. We got a little contest, and the winner of said contest is going to get a brand new Ranch It Up t-shirt, and these are really cool, by the way. They're really super thin and soft. You're going to love it.
I have to laugh. You said a brand new one. No, we are not sending one of Tigger's old t-shirts.
Sorry about that, y'all.
No, we've got some new swag. That's what he's trying to say. We've got some new swag. If you hadn't heard,
sale finds.
You can find it at ranchitup.us if you've been wondering about our swag line. So what we're doing is a fun giveaway. One of you lucky winners is going to get a t-shirt. You're going to get some hat patches. All you got to do is be the first one to answer this here question. But first, write this down so you know how to respond. The email address is
ranchitupshow@gmail.com.
If you're going to call or text, that number is
707-RANCH-20, 707-726-2420.
And when you include your answer, you need to have this information as well. That is your name, your mailing address, and what t-shirt size you would like.
And we will see the timestamp of when these came in, so we will take the first correct answer. Now, the first one will make it real easy for y'all, and that is, what is the first state to have cattle in the United States?
Again, that question is, what is the first state to have cattle within the United States?
Yep. That is the question, and we will take the first correct answer. You can text, you can call, you can email. We'll see the timestamp, so we'll know, kind of when they came in. And I don't know, we might continue this on through the summer, a little content.
I really think we should. This is going to be a lot of fun. And like I said earlier, if you didn't know there was a swag line, head to ranchitup.us to check it out.
Again, send your answers to ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Call and text 707-RANCH-20. That's 707-726-2420. Now it's time for a quick break here on the Ranch It Up radio show. But when we come back, we're talking markets, we're talking numbers, we're talking recaps, and we're going to go through what some of those way-up cows and those way-up bulls have been bringing in other parts of the country. Keep it locked right here to this fine radio station, and we'll be back. A lot of you have been using ranchchannel.com to select your new herd sires. Well, coming soon, feeder and live cattle markets, corn, wheat, and bean futures, all at ranchchannel.com. And don't forget, lots of upcoming sales. Just head to ranchchannel.com. It doesn't matter about what we're talking about in cow herd management. We know that it all stems from nutrition. And I've been telling y'all about Farmatan for a number of years now. Farmatan from Imogene Ingredients, it's the natural way to boost your cow herd's nutrition, to boost your calf's nutrition, get better breed back. And now that we're in breeding season, improve gut health, improve feed efficiency. Isn't it time to give Farmatan a try? For more information, just head to farmatanusa.com.
cattle market reports to various news stories, the Tri-State Livestock News covers it all. Check us out at tsln.com. Subscriptions or advertising, call Tracy Hawk at 406-951-3211. The Tri-State Livestock News, what ranchers read.
Breeding season is here, and maybe you haven't made all of your decisions yet. Maybe you're looking to AI some cows or some heifers. Turn to Allied Genetic Resources. Top quality semen from elite bulls, and get those calves that fetch higher prices and thrive in today's competitive market. With Allied Genetic Resources, you're investing in a stronger, more profitable future. Visit Allied Genetic Resources today and start maximizing your herd's potential. With over 50,000 head marketed annually, Allied Genetic Resources. Welcome back, everyone, to the Ranch It Up radio show. It's that time in the program we check in with Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated, recapping the markets from last week. Kirk, what's going on? What's the numbers look like?
Well, good day, Tigger, and all your listeners out there. As of Friday, July 5th, August feeder futures closed the week at 261.25. That's up 222.5 on the week, with the CME feeder index down $3.52 at 255.08. Little concern about the index going down out there. That left our basis at a negative 639.5 versus August futures. August live cattle closed the week at 186.30. That's up $1.02.5 on the week, with cash trading 188 to 194 in the south and 198 to $2 in the north. That left the 5-area weighted average up $1.45 at 195.37. So very strong cash news. This was a positive $8.94.5 versus August futures. That's a pretty large basis for this time of year. Weekly slaughter came in at 517,000 head. That was a holiday shortened week. So it was 92,000 head less than the prior week and 19,000 head less than the same week last year. Choice boxes closed up another $4.11 at 330.43. To wrap this up, December corn closed the week at 424.25. That's up 3 cents on the week, and corn looks weak.
Hello, everyone. This is Austin Henderson here from Stockman's Livestock in Dickinson. Market report for Thursday, June 27th. We had right at 900 head in the offering, consisting mostly of weigh-up cows and bulls. Kind of how we got along in the bulls. Lower yielding bulls were anywhere from 155 to 160. Middle cut of the bulls were from 165 to 177, with the top cut of the bulls bringing anywhere from $1.80. With the top bull of the day weighed 2,260 pounds, and he bring $1.92. Moving into the weigh-up cows and bulls, your lower yielding cows were anywhere from $1.20 to $1.30. Middle cut of the cows anywhere from $1.35 to $1.46. Higher yielding cows were anywhere from $1.49. Top cow of the day, she weighed 1,350. She bring $1.54. That's kind of how we got along in the weigh-up cows and bulls. We did have a handful of feeder cattle, not many for a test, but what we did have, we had some 565-pound steers. They bring $335. We did have some 820s, bring $260. Moving into the heifers, we did have some 640-pound black heifers, bring $275. And we also had some 760s bring $250. So not a lot of feeder cattle, but the ones we did have got along really well on. So when you're ready to market some cattle, give us a call here at Stockman's Livestock in Dickinson.
Folks, we talk a lot about how to develop relationships with our customers, especially in the direct-to-consumer beef space. But what we don't talk a lot about is developing that relationship with our meat processor. Hey, I'm Shay, and I'm the host of the Casual Cattle Conversations podcast. I sat down with Scott Sandquist of Nodak Meats in Steele, North Dakota, and we had a conversation about how beef producers can best develop relationships and make the processing part of selling direct to consumers go more smoothly. Here's a little bit of what Scott shared.
One hurdle I've noticed already is communication between not necessarily the farmer and the processor, but the farmer and the customer. Let the customer know, if the customer can't get out to the farm and see the animal, that you sold privately, is communicate with them on what they're getting. Are they getting a grass-fed animal? Are they getting a grain-finished animal? What's the age and the sex of the animal? There's a lot of different aspects there of the quality of the animal. When the customer just comes to pick up meat and write the check, they want to know what they're getting. They don't want some surprise, grass-fed animal if they're used to a grain finish, or vice versa. And then also, communication when the animal is dropped off, if it is sold privately, is to have the names and the phone numbers of who that animal is sold to and the amount of that animal that they're taking to the processor right there.
Listen to the full story by searching for Casual Cattle Conversations on your favorite podcast player. Happy ranching, folks.
I tip my hat to you, from one legend to another.
Before we say fare thee well, we want to give a big old tip of the hat to all of you that are traveling to and from your junior nationals.
There's a lot of them that are going on this time of year, and we've had some friends that have had to get awfully creative in trying to keep cattle cool as they're traveling maybe to warmer climates. In fact, that's what's going on all across the country. But be safe and congratulations. And now that's going to wrap it up for today. A big thanks from our crew to yours, starting off with Paul Mitchell with Farmatan and Imogene Ingredients, Shay Warner with Casual Cattle Conversations, Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated, Austin Henderson with Stockman's Livestock, and Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, the boss lady.
A big thank you to our partners, ranchchannel.com. Be sure to check out the new listings, by the way, for ISA Beefmasters, and the markets are up there. Futures markets can be found, again, at ranchchannel.com. Trans-Ova Genetics, Axiota, Multimint and Lactopro, Stockman's Livestock Exchange, the American Galvy Association, Imogene Ingredients, Farmatan, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Allied Genetic Resources, Allied Feeding Partners, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station.
And crew, so glad y'all came with us one more time as we ranch it up. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook at Ranch It Up Show. Our email is ranchituppshow@gmail.com. You can call and text us 24/7 at 707-RANCH-20. That's 707-726-2420. Spread the good word and join us again next week, where it's always Tigger and Beck approved.
Stay ranchy and ranch it up.